Well, I'd like to officially thank everyone for coming and for being a part of our telethon fundraiser. I became an advocate only about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, when Roberta from Wanacue, we were upstairs in the theater, and she was talking about a location she worked at, Maywood Adler's Aphasia Center. And you know me, I talk and I want to sing and perform, but I didn't realize the picture was bigger than I was getting involved with. Roberta hooked me up with them, and I went, and I met, I believe her name is, I forget, what's the activities coordinator? No, Karen's the manager. I'll let you know. That's one of my aphasia things. What's a, Ava? Ava. I was communication with Ava, and I met Ava, and they invited me to perform there. The bigger part was that I didn't realize at that particular moment that I suffer from aphasia. I've just been gifted to learn how to have principles in my life to conquer the aphasia. There was a very special gentleman in my life who, I'll go back a few years. I used to work for Pontonian Food Service, the best job in the entire world. It was. I used to get off all the holidays, paid. I used to get off the summers on unemployment. I used to get Thanksgiving weekend on unemployment. I used to get Christmas weekend on unemployment. I used to get a week off in February and a week off in April. There was no days in November because of the holidays and the teachers' conference down in Atlantic City. So why did I leave? I don't know. But things were getting so difficult for me in there, and I finally realized that God had another plan for me. And I finally, I mean, things would happen like my office would get hot water steaming down on it, and I wasn't in the office. I mean, that wasn't a sign. I black out at work, in the hospital for 3 days. They can't find anything wrong with me. That wasn't a sign. So finally, I just said to them, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. And I actually went to the park every day, and I prayed. And I prayed, and I prayed. And Wentworth had an advertisement in Monster.com, and I applied for the job in Wanacue. Wanacue is my home. Home away from home. It is. Wanacue Reserve is 50% of the population here tonight. Because of their support, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here without Wanacue's support. So I want to thank them so much from the bottom of my heart. From the bottom of my heart. I also want to thank the Wanacue Reserve Board for standing behind me and helping me and guiding me in ACT's legal advice, and Dom's financial and mentoring, and Matt and Eddie and their wives. I'm just so blessed. I'm so blessed to be in the Wanacue family. In the Wanacue family. There's 2 other people from Wanacue who are everybody. I hate to particularly pinpoint people because I don't want to leave anybody out. But so if I leave anybody out, please forgive me, and I would, But there's 2 very important people in Wanacue who I want to stand up and who helped this be promoted in Wanacue without me crossing the line. without me making it while I'm working about my Aphasia Telethon. That's Lynn Alper and Elaine Giordano. Stand up, please. They are a gift from God. Every day they would call me and email me. What do you need me to do? We have this many people. This one's backing out. This one's going in. This one's sitting here. This one's doing that. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Before I get to the rest of my program, I do want to thank a few people. And once again, if I forget anybody, please forgive me. And I feel it's important to thank everybody here and now before it gets too late and everybody's leaving or everybody's staying because they want to hear the thank yous. So as much as I want you to stay, I want you to hear the thank yous. That, to me, the goodness is so important in your life. First of all, I used to listen to the Grammys because I'm a performer. And I used to, and all the performers that got up, the first thing out of their mouths was, I want to thank God. And I used to say to myself, they're so full of it. They want to thank God. That's a showpiece. And then all of a sudden, I got it. We do need to thank God. So from the bottom of my heart, God, I want to thank you for giving me the powers and the strength to survive and to be in this place. So thank you. My children, Brittany and Samantha, who couldn't be here tonight, they had a more important thing. It was Samantha's best friend's 21st birthday. They were going out, and Samantha was going to have a little to drink, so Brittany had to go to drive because it was her 20th. So I said, go with her. Don't worry about this. So my niece and nephew, Danielle, who's not here. Michael, stand up, Mikey. My coolest dude in the whole living world, who's a phenomenal keyboard player. My sister, Debbie Trongone, and my brother-in-law, Michael, who has been a mentor to me. He has been a mentor to me. My dad, who is very ill. He's on dialysis 3 times a week. He's very sick, but he has been an angel to me. My mother, Mayra Prado. Bob Horowitz, he's not here, but Bob Horowitz is always in the midst of supporting people, and I want to give him the proper credit where credit is due. So this is for Bob Horowitz. My Wanacue family, who I said before, and 2 spiritual friends, because I don't know if most of you know that I connect with the other side. Because of my stroke, when I had my stroke, I had an out-of-body experience. It happened on April 8th, 1989, 6 months after my daughter was born. I was walking off the softball field to the dugout, and I just felt myself give out, and I said, I need help. And at that particular moment, did anybody ever watch the movie Ghost? Okay, you know the way he comes out of the body? Well, that happened to me. And I came out of my body, and my spirit was floating, and I actually watched the ambulance on the way to the hospital. I watched my father and his girlfriend standing at the foot of my bed, and I was screaming down that I'm okay, I'm still alive, but he couldn't hear me because he doesn't connect to the other side. So 2 spiritual friends that I have to thank are Larry Grisak from my Wanacue family. Larry Grisak passed away, Sandy, help me? No, last November. It'll be a year this November. Larry Grisak was a godsend to me. He became my best friend in Wanacue. Every time he was on dialysis, he was doing work for me at Wanacue. Who do you need me to call? What do you want me to do? Don't do this, don't do that. What are you doing? Like, and he would go, so what? So what? Don't worry about it, you know? And what I got from him was, no matter what the struggles were, you always have to look at the happy side. You always have to look at the good side. And it's important. It's important in life. We all have our struggles. We all have our difficult times. We all have, issues. We all have, you know, burdens that we carry on our backs, but we get through it. You know how we get through it? We get through it with family and love and together. So that's what I learned from my good friend, Larry Grisak. So let's hear for Larry. Larry, I know you hear us up there. The other spiritual friend I have is Joey Petrucci. Joey Petrucci was a very good family friend. He died of cancer at 43 years old, I believe, about 5 years ago. And he always said to me, you have to sing, you have to sing, you have to sing. And he is one of my spiritual guidance. So I just want to say thank you to my good friend Joey Petrucci. Another thank you. Let's hear for Joey. Another thank you before I forget is my partner in crime, Jean Parada. Stand up, Jean. Jean is one of my best friends because Jean doesn't understand my visions, but Jean supports my visions. And sometimes people don't see where you're going or what you want, but we work together so well. My strong points are what hers aren't, and her strong points are what I want. So thank you so much, Jean. Thank you. So back to the principles I learned. Did anyone ever feel shattered and have everything all over the place and you didn't know how you're going to pick it up? And when you have a stroke, you don't know how to pick it up. I got hired in Wanacue. And Wanacue, the godsend that was in Wanacue was Dominic Cortellessa. Dom saw a little bit of hope in this, I call it, in my book, Speak From Your Heart, which is not published, but it's in the midst of writing. I had all these layers built around this cork, and I was so fogged and so tight and never allowed anybody to get close enough to find out what was really inside. And Dom just saw a little bit of light in me. And through his learning and his compassion and his care and his soft and gentle ways, because I was like, you know when you have a reaction to something in our lives, we have like this quick reaction to whether it's someone who's yelled at you constantly, so you kind of like go away from them before they even like say anything. That's the way I was. I didn't hear people. I heard people through a tender, soft talk more than I heard people through this pounding. This pounding didn't work with me. So Dom, with his wisdom, sat me down so many times. You have no idea how many times he sat me down and he said, well, we'll come back and we'll revisit that, but I want you to think about it. And he made me do the work and learn the process. And then if I go back to him and I'd say, well, what do I do about this? He goes, well, what did I teach you? What principles did I teach you? Go back to the principles I taught you and learn what they are, because I can't be there forever for you. So I'm gifted. I'm gifted for the Wanacue world. I'm gifted for all of you, and I'm gifted for Dom because I finally learned. And now I'm learning what my real purpose is now that I've gone through that. And it's hard. I mean, some days are harder than others. Some days, especially when I get tired, I get that aphasia. I get where I can't think. And that's a big part. Sometimes, but I've learned through Dom's principles. So don't deal with it. Tell them you can't deal with it right now. Tell them they have to wait. There's nothing wrong in telling them that. Be honest. Speak from your heart. Speak from your heart. So, what's that? Oh, sing. Oh, you want me to sing the song Home? Okay. I'll sing the song Home, and then I'll have Dom come up. My mother's the executive producer of many. So I was going to do this at the end, but Let me explain to you why she's probably telling me to sing this song. Because it speaks. It's the song Home, and it's from The Wiz. And in the song it says how my mind has been shifted. My mind's been all over the place, but yet I know where I'm going. So, Danny, can you play Home? Thanks, Mom.
But I still know where I'm going. I had that my mind spun around in space, yet I've watched it growing. So if you're listening, God, please don't make it hard to know that we should believe the things that we see. Tell us, should we try to stay or should we run away?
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's a good song, isn't it? It speaks from my heart. Thank you so much. Tom? And then we'll have Bill come up. This is Dominant Cordalesa.
You know, how do you feel terribly honored and at the same time deeply humbled with the words that were said? Can you all hear me? Okay. I have to tell you a brief story because Renee asked me to say a few words, and I promise I will only say a few words and not keep you. But I have to tell you how she asked me to say a few words. I made a right-hand turn on 2nd Avenue in Wanacue because there's construction on Ringwood Avenue, and I wanted to get around the construction. So when I made that right-hand turn, who was standing on the sidewalk on 2nd Avenue but Renee on her phone? So I stopped to make sure she was okay and to ask her how the telethon was going. And we talked about it, and as usual, she was very enthusiastic, very excited. And she said, oh, by the way, I'd like you to say a few words tonight, okay? So I said, well, let me think about that since I'm just being told about it. So I said, I probably will, but I'll get back to you a little later. And as we were parting, she said to me, you know why you made that right-hand turn on 2nd Avenue? I said, the traffic. I mean, what else? She said no, in her normal spiritual way. She said, God made you make that turn. Which is true, probably, when you think about Renee and how spiritual she is. So I believe that's true. So now, aphasia, a disorder that affects the language centers of the brain, caused by a stroke, caused by head injury, a tumor, an infection, or dementia, that allows people to have difficulty in speaking and writing and communicating in general. And quite frankly, I knew very little about aphasia quite a while ago. Then one day, Renee and I were talking about a variety of things, and she had gotten involved with aphasia and some of the programs. And she told me all about it, which is very heart-rendering. But she also shared with me the fact that she had a stroke a number of years ago, and she truly experienced the impact of aphasia. And we've had some very important conversations over that subject. And then one day she told me, you know what, Dom? I am so committed to aphasia, and my experiences were so significant in not being able to communicate the way I wanted to friends and family, that I'm going to run a telethon. I'm going to produce a telethon. And I said to myself, you know what, self? She doesn't have a lot of experience in doing something like this. I don't know how she's going to pull this off, but I also believed that with her passion, her commitment, her energy, her drive, and the belief that God was laying out the path for her, I said she's going to do it. And guess what? We're here. We're all here. Now, knowing Renee, she already thanked you and probably will go on thanking all of the wonderful people that supported her, the tremendous talent that we heard tonight, all of the friends in Wanacue, all of her supporters, and she will continue to thank them. And you deserve the thanks. You deserve the thanks for helping her succeed in putting together this wonderful, wonderful fundraiser. But when you think about it, Renee deserves our thanks. She deserves our thanks for bringing together friends, supporters, talented people, putting together the energy, the commitment, the love, the belief in God, and the passion to make this successful. And without her, this would not have happened. So I would like to thank Renee for what she's achieved and wish her well in all of her other endeavors regarding her commitment and desire to bring aphasia into the light for many people who did not know anything about it. So to Renee, thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Aren't I blessed? I'm just blessed.